is circulated. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, consideration of the verified complaint by Robert Christian Wiffelsfugen. We received the complaint at our last meeting, and which is documented in the minutes, and the notification of this meeting today to decide what we are going to do with the complaint has been noticed, sent around to everybody identified on the complaint, so I'd like to hear from the commissioners. What say you?
Well, I'll go first. To be honest, it's a little hard to follow, but what I could follow tends to, I think, get at issues or questions that may be addressed in the December 11th hearing, which have to do with, as I understand it and this, has to do with whether or not there were additional charges incurred and billed and so forth by the working office to the legislators. And if I understood this correctly, what this is saying is that the people that are on the end of the allegations, or several of them, are charged with having concealed information about what those charges may or may not have been. So, my impression at this point is that this is a little premature, and then there may also be a question as to whether or not it is even within our jurisdiction, actually, because it alleges more criminal types of acts than it really does ethical, although crimes are unethical. By
per se?
Yeah. Now, those are my thoughts.
I tend to agree. I think that some of the issues that are raised in this complaint are subsumed in the issues that are being addressed in the current complaint that will be addressed in the hearing, and some of these issues may be mooted by whatever happens in that hearing, or addressed by whatever happens in that hearing. So the other issues, there are allegations of violations of state law, there are allegations of violations of conspiracy, and criminal activity, but at this stage that's all they are, is an allegation, because other than what we have been presented, we've been presented with no substantive documents or other information that would support these allegations. There doesn't seem to be anything really contained in this complaint that is different than what's been raised in the other complaint, and the first one and now the second one and then this third one seems to be just a step higher in terms of allegations of things we've already addressed. So at this point I think that it is premature, like you said. I think that the issues will be addressed to some extent in the December 11 hearing, and to the extent that those issues are addressed, I think it has a major impact on whether or not any of these allegations go forward, at least with us. So I don't think there's anything that we need to do at this stage until we get to the December 11 hearing.
I would agree with that. I guess I was confused as to why this was submitted and verified back in June and we just got it at this point. Because it does correlate so closely with our other, what we're considering next month. And I think the addition of the state laws and those others are the difference that this holds. I agree that probably we'll address much of it in December.
Okay. I would agree, and I read our definition of conflicts of interest in the county charter, and the things that make it a batch of different issues are things with which we have no authority. I would say that if indeed there is evidence that concerning the misdemeanors and the crimes and misdemeanors, that they be taken elsewhere. So that is how I feel about that. So. Are there any other, what would you like to do?
I'm not exactly sure what the proper procedural approach is, but I don't think there's anything that needs to be done on this specific complaint until after December 11, when we can figure out what in this complaint has been addressed in the hearing. And if it's addressed in the hearing in the December 11th complaint, then that moots it. If it's something within our jurisdiction that's not addressed in the December 11th hearing, then I think we have to deal with it at that time. But right now, I just see a huge overlap, with the exception of different allegations, but it's all concerning the same underlying facts and issues.
I think maybe, and we might want to check our rules on this, but I think maybe, in my mind, the best course of action would be to dismiss this right now as premature or whatever. Wait to see what happens on the 11th, and then if there are still dangling issues after the 11th, then it can be refiled in the context of whatever has been decided on the 11th. That's.
I have to respectfully disagree.
Well,
at this
I'm
point.
sorry, the commission's talking.
Okay.
Is that a motion? Motion to dismiss? Or
Sure.
Second.
It's been a motion to dismiss until, so we can see what happens with the overlapping charges at our December 11th hearing. Any other discussion?
Only to the extent that I would amend the motion to dismiss and state a specific ground that the motion to dismiss is based on the prematurity of the complaint as opposed to being dismissed on the merits at this stage.
I'm good with that amendment.
And at that time, will Mr. Witzel, you have to refile, or will we just reopen?
Good question.
Well, if it's dismissed, then I think you would have to refile. At least that's the way I would interpret it. But that's not necessarily bad from his standpoint, I don't think, because he's going to have the benefit of knowing what happened on December 11th, and I think he would probably want to reorganize the petition anyway based on that. So.
Okay. It's been a motion to dismiss based on the prematurity of the complaint, not on its merits, and with the opportunity to refile after the outcomes of the December 11th hearing. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. With that then, we can move into old business. Concerning the December 11th hearing, I would like to say that we need to get notification out in the next couple of days in order to be consistent with our procedures. With that then, I would say that we notify everybody in this complaint.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And Mr. Workin and others. Which takes us to the position of our legal counsel, our need for legal representation. And I think because we have to notice Mr. Hayden and Mr. Jones in particular, that we absolutely must get outside legal counsel for this.
Agreed.
Okay. And so Sly and I have an appointment with the county executive right after this meeting to discuss the matters having to do with the volume of work for the Ethics Commission and the proposed ethics code. We will bring that up at that time too. And we had informed the county council or the county executive's office, and we need to work through the county executive's office because there's an inherent conflict with the county councilor's office. So.
Okay.
Anything else?
Have we touched base? Have we touched base with our former counsel that we used previously?
No, we have not, because we have no authorization
No
to do
authority,
that. So we're going to make that happen very quickly.
Do you want me to contact him if that's in
Yes.
order?
I'll let you know what they tell me about
Yeah.
the next hour.
Yeah.
And then the fifth member of the commission, I talked with David Warm, who serves as adjunct chair of the selection committee for the ethics commission. As soon as I got back in the office, so we could go Friday, he said, you must be reading my mind. Something was in the hopper. Somebody was being asked that he was very confident would accept, that they thought was very well qualified for the job. So we should, who knows, maybe by our hearing we will have a fifth member of the committee.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
fun. I'd rather have them signed up before the hearing.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I don't want them to come.